Recording. All right, so the next topic we're going to cover is the Respiratory Protection Plan. So the purpose of this is the department policy to ensure firefighters will be provided adequate protection from respiratory hazards in compliance with 29 CFR 19.134 and any other amendments that are there. So what they're saying is that you will be protected, and we have to offer you the protection needed to provide the job function that we provide to the town for a service. So the scope of the application, all members who are or may be exposed to an IDLH, atmosphere or other respiratory hazard. IDLH is immediately dangerous to life and health. As far as definitions go here, rescue team will consider 2 firefighters, and we do follow a 2-in, 2-out system. The buddy system where no one works alone in an IDLH environment. And a medical evaluation questionnaire is completed by the member and reviewed by healthcare professionals. So you need to follow your policies on the age requirements of when you need to do your respiratory protection. Medical clearance, pulmonary function tests, and questionnaire and evaluation signed off by the physician. And fit testing to ensure a proper fit of respirator. So if you were doing fire only, and I think we still did both anyways, just in case fire responded to an EMS call to assist, there'll be fit tested for your SCBA mask and N95 mask. The fire chief is the program administrator, and he has the overall responsibility to ensure department compliance, which is why we are here today. Company officers are responsible to ensure that the plan is implemented on an operational level, to make sure that we're wearing SCBAs and we're supposed to be wearing SCBAs. As far as employees go, you need to wear a respirator when and where required. So when would we wear an SCBA? What conditions? I understand IDLH. What kind of calls would we wear a SCBA on?
Chimney fires.
Chimney fires.
Structure fires.
Yep. Building fires, structure fires.
Car fires.
Yep. Car fires. What else? CO alarms, right? At least have it on and measuring air.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, dumpster fires. Anytime you're on a ladder or off the ground, right? We're supposed to be flowing air.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember wear respirator when they are required. Take care of the respirator, which means cleaning and maintenance and storage. So we talked about it in the bloodborne pathogens and how to clean equipment. We are going to make sure that we need to clean our equipment when it comes back to the station, right? So we need to decon our stuff. Inform the company officer of any problems with the unit or yourself. If you have any issues with the air packs. And then inform the company officer or program administrator of items you feel are not adequately addressed or any other concerns. If you feel it needs to be out of service, it needs to be placed out through the lockout tagout system that we have, and things need to be labeled appropriately if it's out of service. Currently, we use Scott 2.2s for the SCBA. Members will be fit tested annually and have to fill out a medical clearance. In the event different equipment is required, members have to be retrained and refitted. So that means that when Chaplain Fire Department gets new SCBAs, granted they are Scott, but they're not going to be Scott 2.2s. They're most likely going to be a Scott 4.5, and I'm not exactly sure what, not brand, but model of air pack they're going to purchase here. When it comes time for air pack specs, when that will come into play when they go out for bid or inspect what they're going to do. At that point in time, the masks will be different. Okay, everything is different at that point. Everybody has to refit tests and retrain on the packs. Medical clearances need to be done. Fit testing is done annually, and in the event, we need to make sure we're changing stuff out. So as far as hazard evaluation goes, incidents where an IDLH might be encountered, structure files, vehicle fires, dumpster, hazmat, chimney, CO, any kind of special rescue situation or other respiratory hazards. So we're going down into some type of trench, and we don't have the appropriate fan system and air systems moving air through. Go below a certain grade, we need to be in SCBAs. There's a potential for the oxygen levels to be dropped. So we don't go below grade, things like that, without the proper training and the proper respirators. What was that?
The catch basins?
Right. Medical evaluation, the 29 CFR 1910.134. This is the standard that we follow. Performed by Workwell and Biddeford. They do our medical evaluations. There's a questionnaire and pulmonary functions test they make you do if you blow into some kind of tube.
Shouldn't a basement be considered kind of like a...
Not really, because it's a wide open area.
Yeah, true.
So it wouldn't really be considered an ideal.
But some basements can be.
Depending on the size of the basement and what's above it.
Especially when you get an old farmhouse, half of the house and all. I don't know.
Could be. Could be. Make sure that these are reviewed by and approved by a doctor. Either you're approved or not approved. Pulmonary function test, you blow into a tube, you take all your breath out of your lungs. It gets you usually a reserve air to see how your pulmonary function actually works. If you're stuck in an environment, we have to use all of your air in your lungs. Your pulmonary function schedule. If you're under the age of 35, it's every 5 years. If you're between 36 and 40, it's every 2 years. Once you get over 40, that's done on a yearly basis. Reevaluation required. If a member has signs and symptoms related to respiratory use, so if you have some kind of issues with respirator use, you may be required to do a reevaluation. The healthcare provider feels the need, so they can say that you need to go through it all over again. And you could be 25 years old, and the respiratory physician may say you have to do this every year. That's what they recommend. So, information from program shows the need for it and change in physiological work conditions. As far as confidentiality goes, all medical information are confidential between healthcare provider and member. So anything you put down in your respiratory questionnaire, the fire chief can't even see. So it's all confidential between the healthcare provider unless you decide to share it with them. The administrator only knows whose qualifications or disqualifications. So when the healthcare provider reviews you and sends you in a pulmonary function test, they'll send back either yes, they can wear a pack or a respirator, or no, they cannot. That's all he's going to know. That is it. As far as structural attack requirements, remember an SCBA is required in all fires beyond incipient stage. Continue SCBA until completion of overhaul. We're using the buddy system and remember crew integrity, 2 in, 2 out. And establishment of a RIT is allowable. So remember you need to have a RIC or RIT available on building fires. Requires minimum of 5 firefighters to begin interior operations. Remember you have to have 2 in, 2 out, and 1 pump operator. The IC or pump operator may be one of those, what they call outies, an outdoor person. And then the 2 out must be geared up ready to enter. So in theory, you can't even enter into the building unless you have 2 PAC certified going in and 2 PAC certified outside. If there's an emergency rescue, then 2 in, 2 out goes out the window and you go inside and perform the rescue to save life. Not property, life. The IC must notify dispatch of entry without 2 out team, so we're making a rescue attempt. So dispatch needs to be notified. Exit immediately to performing a rescue and document in writing to the chief exactly what happened if the chief isn't there. Or why you had to go that route. Other fires, SCBAs will be used when there may be an exposure to an ideally or other respiratory hazard. As far as air quality goes, program administrator will ensure that breathing air remains at grade B quality. As far as air quality in buildings go, we need to make sure before we go into removing our packs and overhaul phase that there is no CO present. So we need to take meters in and clear the building before we go in and start working. As far as cleaning goes, SCBAs need to be cleaned and disinfected after each use, air dried and stored to maintain cleanliness. Field cleaning is done with 70% isopropyl alcohol wipes. So we do that in the field, we clean our masks, things like that. But once we get back, we need to make sure we're doing a full cleaning of them. So the days of just wiping them out, putting them in the truck should be done. We literally take the speaker mic off of it, or the amplifier, voice amplifier, put it in water and actually clean them with appropriate cleaning. There's no sharing of masks without proper cleaning of them. So if you have your own mask, do what you gotta do. But I mean, if you have your sharing masters, what we do here, they need to be appropriately cleaned and put back. As far as maintenance goes, check after each use and then monthly. These are required to be monthly, but if you do happen to use a pack, you're supposed to inspect the pack when you get back and document that it was inspected and put back into service for the use on a scene, or if you use it for training. Recorded the SCBA maintenance logs, so those logs downstairs. And then any kind of deficits or defects will be repaired or replaced and out of service using the lockout tablet system, and they're flow tested annually. As far as training goes, according to NFPA 101, we need to do annual recertification. So that means that did you guys do annual recertifications this year or 2017? My guess is probably not. So in theory, before you start running air packs again, you're supposed to go through a air pack recertification.
I think we might have because I got certified on that. They only did certain ones.
Everybody has to go through a recertification process on an annual basis. So I have videos of 1 year with you guys doing it. Yeah. Where we did the drag and the ladder climb and all that, and kept going around the station.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
We need to do some form of recertification every year, whether it's a hose maze or
down the stairs.
Yeah, the ladder, and then we did the step over stuff for recertification.
Yeah, we did that last year too. Sure.
Right, that has to be documented every year. So you can do like a hose maze wearing an air pack lined out, and we can make you like one of the fire trucks and whatever. You have to do something to recertify air packs every year. So maybe that could be.
Well, we haven't done it this year, but.
Right, maybe that could be a training that we can do in the winter months, do something indoors. But those have to be done. Program evaluation and records are done by the program administrator and required annual review and sign off of all members. So in that binder, policies, I believe Sue has that now. In that binder, make sure you sign the roster in the front saying you acknowledge the policy of the Respiratory Protection Program. And that is it. Any questions on respiratory protection?